we've talked about Manchester United. We were there yesterday, and Jamie was caught up right in the heart of that story. But the other place that we've seen significant protest since this European Super League proposals broke down was at Arsenal, that Friday night game against Everton. And you said before you were watching on and you were supporting what the Arsenal fans were doing. Can you explain to us what have been the big complaints historically from Arsenal fans to the Kroenke ownership of the last decade?
It goes back to what Jamie was talking about, to what the government is trying to do. And I agree with you, it should be above the Premier League. It should be someone coming in and regulate what should be regulated. But for me, forget about that Arsenal is not performing on the field, although we won some FA Cups along the way. You can say the same thing, by the way, because you were talking about Manchester United not winning at the moment, but they won along the way. But they were always not happy about the ownership. Same with Arsenal. And more often than not, people concentrate on the last drop and then realize, oh, what's happening here? No, it's been like that for a little while. The Arsenal fans have been upset for a little while for the same reason, because they've been ignored. You used to have Arsenal fans on the board through the history of the club. Maybe if they were on the board, they wouldn't have gone and accepted to participate into the Super League. I hear a lot of people talking about the 50+1 rule that they have in Germany. I don't know if it can be done here, but what about the golden share? Its shareholder can have the veto power to have an impact, obviously, on what's changing at the club. Have an eye on the financial account. Where is the money going? I think the fans want what they want is transparency, and honesty. That's what they want, and that's why they're screaming. That's why they're upset. And it's not so much because you can look at it both ways. We haven't been successful. Man United along the way have been successful along those years, but they're still upset about the ownership, and the same at Arsenal. So I think the fans want to be involved, wants to know what's happening with their club, and wants to know where the money is going. And
they want new owners. They've made that very plain as well. They want the Kroenkes out of the club, and that was at the heart of that demonstration as well. So there we are, watching Arsenal-Everton on that Friday night, and a little tweet pops up from Daniel Ek, the man behind Spotify, to say that he wants to buy the club. He's an Arsenal fan, he's ready to buy the club, and he's enlisted the help of yourself, Dennis Bergkamp, and Patrick Vieira. So tell us about
first and foremost,
Daniel, and tell us about the bid.
I know a lot of people wanted to hear about it. It is true. Daniel is an Arsenal fan. He didn't say that for any publicity. He is an Arsenal fan for a very long time. He approached us. We listened to him. When we knew, first and foremost, that he wanted to involve the fans, and exactly what we talked about, we actually met the Arsenal Supporters Trust and told them what we wanted to do. Bring them back on board, being part of the meetings, knowing what's happening, because you need to put the DNA back into the club.
Having the golden share that you're talking about?
Yeah, the golden share that I'm talking about. But he wants to re-inject the Arsenal DNA, the identity that I think for me is long gone. You don't have Arsenal people there amongst the board sometimes that can maybe show the right direction. That's what Daniel wants to do. He already, I give you something, he already reached out. He already said himself that he put, the fund, he collected the fund to make sure that he can put a good bid. Now, obviously, they need to listen and see what can they do. Will they accept on other side? But something that's very important about it is a lot of people have been screaming. Obviously, you said that they want the owner out. We are trying to offer a solution involving the fans and the DNA back of the club. So let's see where it's going to go, because at one point also it needs to be a discussion. But he reached out.
So bid has been made.
Reached out, yeah. I don't know how far they went into.
Not yet received or rejected.
Yeah.
Or acknowledged even, it seems, at this point. Do we know numbers? I can multiple billion, aren't we, at this point?
I don't have that type of money to talk about it. No, I cannot talk like that about how much it is. That's going to be in between Daniel and obviously the Kroenke family, if they're there to entertain obviously the bid.
Obviously, he's a music man. He's made his money, a lot of money through Spotify. What does he actually want to do with Arsenal, though? What are his ambitions for that football club?
First and foremost, what you can see as a marketing guy, you can see what he did with his company and how far he pushed it. But more importantly, he's a fan. He wants to make sure that the team can be what it used to be. Because at one point, let's all be honest, you're going to win or not win. You know, Liverpool, it took Liverpool I don't know how long to win a title. But along the way, they never lost their identity. You know, Liverpool fans always come together, they always stick together, they're always strong together. I don't think that did happen with Arsenal, you know, although we were not successful in the field. This is what he wants to bring. And this is what we want to bring, the identity and the DNA of the club back, and people that care about the club. Because like I said to you, again, I'm going to repeat myself, it's very true. If you had fans on the board, that would never have happened at Super League stand.
Thierry, you mentioned obviously yourself, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira. I mean, have you actually spoken if this did happen? What type of role are you thinking? You're talking about bringing the Arsenal DNA, but you, Dennis, Patrick, you'd have to have some sort of role. What would that role be within the football club?
First and foremost, the takeover, Jamie. It's going to be, I think, long and not easy if it does ever happen. One thing that I want to reiterate is that Daniel will not move away. He'll be there waiting to see if they want to sell, and there again with us. That's going to take a time, a very long time. We really know what we want to do, but first and foremost, we need to make sure that we can take over if they are listening.
This is a huge transaction, Thierry. Why do it, and why do the business so publicly?
Because Daniel is an honest man, transparency. I know some people said, why would you go public about it? Why would you not? The fans would like to know what's happening or what might happen at their club. And this is how it is. Like I said to you, we had a discussion with the Arsenal Supporters Trust, and he was very open with them. And he wants to be open with them and know that he wants to buy the club, that he reached out, and that obviously there's going to be a bid. So that's for me, that's very important, because at the end of the day also, if that happened and people don't know about it, then they will not know about it. Right now, what I was trying to say to you early on is if you find yourself in a situation that you're asking for someone out, we're trying to bring a solution that obviously that they need to listen.
So, as well as this being triggered by the events of the last few weeks and the pain of the Kroenke years, is it also for you personally driven by a disappointment with what's happened on the pitch with Arsenal in recent seasons?
No, I'll go back to what Jamie said. It's not so much about what happens on the field, because I can tell you myself, being on the other side of the line, being a manager, being in discussion, sometimes it is not easy. It is about being a proper fan at that particular moment. And if I wasn't part of the bid, I would have backed it up also being from afar, because you want the club to be run a bit better and the fans to be involved. Then after, everyone is trying to chase Man City right now. Man United are trying to win it. Chelsea are trying to win it. It's not going to be easy. But it is not so much only about what's happening on the field. I go back to what Jamie said. It is also what's happening off the field. And the fans are not happy about it.
Thierry, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on it. And we look forward to the next developments, as I'm sure all Arsenal fans do as well.